Arthur Conan Doyle, The Hound of the Baskervilles. Chapter 10. Extract from the Diary of Dr. Watson. Up to this point, I have been able to quote from the reports that I sent during these first days to Sherlock Holmes. Now, however, I have reached a moment in my story where I must leave that method and depend again on my memory, helped by the diary that I kept at the time. A few passages from it will bring me to those events that are fixed clearly in my memory. I continue, then, from the morning after our unsuccessful chase of the convict and our other strange experiences on the moor. October 16th. A dull and foggy day with light rain. The house is surrounded by moving clouds, which sometimes lift to show the sad shapes of the moor, with thin silver lines on the hillsides and distant rocks shining where the light touches their wet surfaces. It is gloomy both outside and inside. The baronet is depressed after the excitement of the night. I also feel a heavy weight on my heart and a sense of coming danger. A constant danger that is more frightening because I cannot clearly describe it. And do I not have reason for such a feeling? Think about the long chain of events that all point to some dark influence working around us. There is the death of the last owner of the hall, which so closely matches the family legend. And there are the repeated reports from local people of a strange creature seen on the moor. Twice, I have heard with my own ears a sound like the distant barking of a hound. It is unbelievable, impossible, that it could truly be something beyond the normal laws of nature. A ghostly hound that leaves real footprints and fills the air with its howling is not something one can accept easily. Stapleton may believe such a superstition, and Mortimer as well. But if I have one strong quality, it is common sense, and nothing will make me believe in such a thing. To do so would be to lower myself to the level of these simple peasants, who are not satisfied with a devilish dog, but must describe it with fire coming from its mouth and eyes. Holmes would never listen to such fantasies, and I am his agent. But facts remain facts, and I have twice heard that cry on the moor. Suppose there really were a huge hound roaming there. That would explain much. But where could such a hound hide? Where would it find food? Where did it come from? And why has no one seen it in daylight? It must be admitted that the natural explanation brings almost as many problems as the supernatural one. And always, apart from the hound, there remains the human element in London. The man in the cab, and the letter that warned Sir Henry against the moor. That, at least, was real. But it might have been sent by a friend trying to protect him as easily as by an enemy. Where is that friend or enemy now? Has he stayed in London, or has he followed us here? Could he be the stranger I saw on the tour? It is true that I saw him only once, and yet there are some things of which I am certain. He is not anyone I have met here, and I have now seen all the neighbors. The figure was much taller than Stapleton, and much thinner than Frankland. It might possibly have been Barrymore, but we had left him behind, and I am sure he could not have followed us. So a stranger is still watching us, just as a stranger watched us in London. We have never managed to escape him. If I could catch that man, then at last we might reach the end of all our troubles. To this single goal, I must now give all my energy. My first thought was to tell Sir Henry all my plans. My second and wiser thought was to act alone and speak as little as possible to anyone. He is quiet and distracted. His nerves have been badly shaken by that sound on the moor. I will say nothing to increase his worries, but I will take my own steps to reach my goal. We had a small argument this morning after breakfast. Barrymore asked to speak with Sir Henry, and they stayed in his study for some time. Sitting in the billiard room, I heard raised voices more than once, and I had a good idea what they were discussing. After a while, the baronet opened the door and called me in. "Barrymore feels that he has been treated unfairly," he said. "He thinks it was wrong of us to chase his brother-in-law after he had freely told us the secret." The butler stood before us, very pale but calm. "I may have spoken too strongly, sir," said he, "and if so, I beg your pardon. But I was very surprised when I heard you gentlemen return this morning and learned that you had been chasing Selden. The poor man has enough trouble already without me adding more danger to his path." "If you had told us willingly, it would have been different," said the baronet. "You only told us, or rather your wife told us, when it was forced from you and you had no choice." "I did not think you would use it against him, Sir Henry. Truly, I did not. The man is a danger to the public. There are lonely houses across the moor, and he is the sort of man who would not hesitate to do anything. You only need to see his face to understand that. Look at Mr. Stapleton's house, for example, with no one there but himself to protect it. No one is safe until he is locked up. He will not break into any house, sir. I give you my solemn word on that. But he will not trouble anyone in this country again. I assure you, Sir Henry, that in just a few days arrangements will be made, and he will be on his way to South America. For God's sake, sir, I beg you not to inform the police that he is still on the moor. They have stopped searching there, and he can remain hidden until the ship is ready. If you report him, my wife and I will be in serious trouble. I beg you, sir, say nothing to the police." "What do you think, Watson?" I shrugged my shoulders. "If he leaves the country safely, it will save the public the cost of keeping him. But what about the risk that he might attack someone before he leaves? He would not do anything so foolish, sir. We have given him everything he needs. If he committed a crime, it would show where he was hiding." "That is true," said Sir Henry. "Well, Barrymore, God bless you, sir, and thank you from my heart. It would have broken my poor wife's heart if he had been caught again. I suppose we are helping a criminal, Watson. But after what we have heard, I do not feel able to hand the man over, so that is the end of it. Very well, Barrymore, you may go." With a few broken words of thanks, the man turned to leave, but he hesitated, and then came back. "You have been so kind to us, sir, that I would like to do what I can for you in return. I know something, Sir Henry, and perhaps I should have told you before, but I only found it out long after the inquest. I have never spoken of it to anyone. It is about Sir Charles's death." The baronet and I both stood up. "Do you know how he died?" "No, sir, I do not know that." "What then?" "I know why he was at the gate at that hour. He was there to meet a woman." "To meet a woman? He?" "Yes, sir." "And the woman's name?" "I cannot give you the name, sir, but I can give you her initials. They were L.L. "How do you know this, Barrymore?" "Well, Sir Henry, your uncle received a letter that morning. He usually had many letters, because he was a public man and known for his kindness, so people in trouble often wrote to him. But that morning, there was only this one letter, so I noticed it more. It came from Coombe Tracy, and was written in a woman's handwriting." "Well?" "Well, sir, I thought nothing more of it, and I never would have if not for my wife. Only a few weeks ago she was cleaning Sir Charles's study. It had not been touched since his death, and she found the ashes of a burned letter at the back of the fireplace. Most of it was burned to pieces, but one small piece, the end of a page, was still together, and the writing could still be read, although it appeared gray on a black background. It seemed to be a postscript at the end of the letter, and it said, 'Please, please, as you are a gentleman, burn this letter, and be at the gate by 10 o'clock. Beneath that were the initials L.L. Do you still have that piece of paper? No, sir. It fell apart after we touched it. Had Sir Charles received other letters in the same handwriting? Well, sir, I did not usually pay attention to his letters. I would not have noticed this one, except that it arrived alone. And you have no idea who LL might be? No, sir. No more than you do. But I expect that if we could find that lady, we would learn much more about Sir Charles's death. I cannot understand, Barrymore, why you kept such important information to yourself. Well, sir, soon after that our own trouble began. And besides, sir, we were both very fond of Sir Charles, as we had good reason to be, considering all that he did for us. Bringing this matter up again could not help our poor master, and when a lady is involved, one must be careful. Even the best of us. You thought it might harm his reputation? Well, sir, I thought no good could come from it. But now that you have been kind to us, I feel it would be unfair not to tell you everything I know. Very well, Barrymore, you may go. When the butler had left, Sir Henry turned to me. Well, Watson, what do you make of this new light? It seems to make the darkness even deeper than before. So it seems to me. But if we can trace this LL, it may clear up the whole matter. We have gained at least this much. We know that there is someone who knows the truth, if only we can find her. What do you suggest we do? We should inform Holmes at once. This may be the clue he has been waiting for. I would not be surprised if it brings him down here. I went immediately to my room and prepared my report of the morning's conversation for Holmes. It was clear to me that he had been very busy lately, for the notes I had received from Baker Street were few and brief. There were no comments on the information I had sent, and hardly any reference to my mission. No doubt his case in London was taking up all his attention. Still, this new development must surely catch his interest and renew his attention to our affairs. I only wish that he were here. October 17th. It rained heavily all day, the drops rustling on the ivy and falling from the roof. I thought of the convict out on the cold, empty moor. Poor man. Whatever his crimes, he has suffered much. And then I thought of the other one, the face in the cab, the dark figure against the moon. Was he also out there in the storm? The hidden watcher? The man in the shadows? In the evening I put on my raincoat and walked far across the wet moor. The rain beat against my face and the wind whistled in my ears. God help anyone who wanders into the great mire now, for even the higher ground is turning into swamp. I climbed the black tor where I had seen the lonely figure and looked out over the sad hills. Rain swept across their brown slopes, and heavy gray clouds hung low over the land, trailing down the sides of the strange hills. In the distance, partly hidden by mist, the two thin towers of Baskerville Hall rose above the trees. They were the only sign of life I could see, apart from the ancient stone huts scattered on the hillsides. There was no trace of the mysterious man I had seen there 2 nights before. On my way back, I met Dr. Mortimer driving his dog cart along a rough track from the farmhouse at Foulmire. He has been very kind to us and calls almost every day to see how we are managing. He insisted that I join him, and he drove me home. He was very worried about his small spaniel, which had wandered onto the moor and had not returned. I tried to comfort him, but I remembered the pony lost in the Grimpen mire, and I fear he will not see his dog again. By the way, Mortimer, I said as we jolted along the uneven road, I suppose you know almost everyone who lives within driving distance of here? Almost everyone, I think. Can you tell me the name of any woman whose initials are LL? He thought for a few minutes. No, he said at last. There are some gypsies and laborers I cannot be sure about, but among the farmers or gentry there is no one with those initials. Wait a moment, he added after a pause. There is Laura Lyons. Her initials are LL, but she lives in Coombe Tracy. Who is she? I asked. She is Franklin's daughter. What? Old Franklin, the eccentric? Exactly. She married an artist named Lyons, who came to the moor to paint. He turned out to be a scoundrel and left her. From what I hear, the blame may not have been entirely on one side. Her father refused to have anything to do with her because she married without his permission, and perhaps for other reasons as well. So between the old sinner and the young one, the poor girl has had a hard life. How does she manage to live? I believe old Franklin gives her a small allowance, but it cannot be much, as his own affairs are in a bad state. Whatever her faults, people could not let her fall completely into ruin. Her story became known, and several people here helped her to earn an honest living. Stapleton helped, and so did Sir Charles. I gave a small amount myself. It was to help her start a typewriting business. He wanted to know why I was asking, but I satisfied his curiosity without revealing too much. There is no reason to trust anyone with our suspicions. Tomorrow morning, I shall go to Coombe Tracy, and if I can speak with Mrs. Laura Lyons, whose reputation is uncertain, we may take an important step toward clearing up one link in this chain of mysteries. I am certainly learning to be cautious. When Mortimer pressed me too closely with his questions, I casually asked him about the shape of Franklin's skull, and from that moment he spoke of nothing but craniology for the rest of the drive. I have not spent years with Sherlock Holmes without learning something. There is only one more event to record on this stormy and gloomy day. It was a conversation with Barrymore just now, which gives me another useful card to play at the right moment. Mortimer stayed for dinner, and afterwards he and Sir Henry played écarté. The butler brought my coffee into the library, and I took the opportunity to question him. "Well," I said, "has your troublesome relative left, or is he still hiding out there?" "I don't know, sir. I hope to heaven he is gone, for he has brought nothing but trouble to this house. I have not heard from him since I last left food for him, and that was 3 days ago." "Did you see him then?" "No, sir, but the food was gone when I returned." "Then he was certainly still there?" "So you would think, sir, unless it was the other man who took it." I stopped with my coffee halfway to my mouth and stared at Barrymore. "You know there is another man?" "Yes, sir, there is another man on the moor." "Have you seen him?" "No, sir." "Then how do you know about him?" "Selden told me, sir, a week or more ago. He is in hiding too, but he is not a convict as far as I can tell. I don't like it, Dr. Watson. I tell you honestly, sir, I don't like it." He spoke with sudden and deep seriousness. "Now listen to me, Barrymore. I have no interest in this matter except your master's safety. I came here only to help him. Tell me clearly, what is it that troubles you?" Barrymore hesitated, as if he regretted speaking so openly or struggled to explain his feelings. "It's all these strange happenings, sir," he said at last, waving his hand toward the rain-beaten window that faced the moor. "There is foul play somewhere. There is evil at work, and I would swear to it. I would be very glad, sir, to see Sir Henry safely back in London again. But what exactly frightens you? Look at Sir Charles's death. That was bad enough, no matter what the coroner said. Then there are the sounds on the moor at night. No man would cross it after dark, not for money. And now this stranger hiding out there, watching and waiting. What is he waiting for? What does it all mean? It means no good for anyone named Baskerville. I will be glad to be free of it all when Sir Henry's new servants arrive and take over the hall." "And about this stranger," I said. "Can you tell me anything more? What did Selden say? Did he discover where the man hides, or what he is doing?" "He saw him once or twice, but the man is cautious and reveals nothing. At first, Selden thought he was from the police, but soon he saw that the man had some purpose of his own. He seemed to be a gentleman, from what Selden could tell, but what he was doing there, he could not understand. And where does he stay? In the old stone huts on the hillside. The ancient huts where the early people once lived. But how does he get food? Selden discovered that he has a boy who works for him and brings him what he needs. I suppose he gets his supplies from Coombe Tracy. Very good, Barrymore. We can speak of this again another time. After the butler left, I went to the dark window and looked through the blurred glass at the fast-moving clouds and the trees bending wildly in the wind. It is a fierce night even indoors. What must it be like in a stone hut out on the moor? What kind of hatred could drive a man to hide in such a place, at such a time? And what serious purpose could be so important that he would endure such hardship? There, in that lonely hut on the moor, seems to lie the very heart of the mystery that has troubled me so deeply. I swear that another day will not pass before I do everything in my power to uncover the truth.